Formula Regional America's iRacing Invitational Championship. My name's John Phippen. I'm the normal spokesman for the series, and I'm joined in the commentary box by Austin Knight. Say hello, Austin.
Howdy, everybody, and glad to be here.
Marco Barbanera is the man behind the controls who's giving us these beautiful pictures. And like we say, we've got a foggy day, apparently, at Virginia International Raceway. 90 degrees, 100% humidity, but clear skies and about 2 miles per hour wind. And we are in qualifying right now for this round number 3. And as you can see, Dario Cangliosi coming off his win at the most recent round at Circuit of the Americas, setting the pace early here, a 1:43.45 for his best time. Simon Sykes, who's joining us for the first time this weekend. Simon driving the 2018 F2000 vice champion out of Atlanta, Georgia. Simon second quick by just the slimmest of margin. In fact, it looks like almost a dead heat. Benjamin Peterson in the 24 car is one of our veterans. Benjamin was the vice champion a year ago in the Formula Regional Series. Benjamin third quickest. And now Philippe Dennis has taken over the top spot. Philippe joining us for the first time this weekend as well. Philippe out of Los Angeles, California. He is currently undefeated in the Road to Indy iRacing Championship. So he is going to be a formidable opponent here this weekend. Cangliosi still second, Sykes third, Peterson is fourth. Quinlan Law in the 22 car, currently in the third position. Quinlan, one of our drivers out of Ringwood, New Jersey, finished ninth in the championship just a year ago. Zachary Rivard is back with us. Zachary currently sixth quick in the 27 car. Victor Anderson in his sophomore appearance with us here in the FR America's iRacing Invitational. Victor currently seventh fastest. Andrew Pinkerton, who was among the faster guys at COTA, currently eighth. Dakota Dickerson, who took second place in the most recent round at COTA, is ninth quick. And JP Southern, good Ohio boy, rounding out the top 10 in the number 61 car. Andrew Dobby, Danny Kasich, Johnny Wilkinson, Dominic Livernoy, and Mateus Solero Bell are your top 15. Great to have Megan Jilks back with us. Megan in the 49 car. Megan, you may recognize as one of the drivers in the inaugural season of the W Series Championship. She's also a veteran of the FR Americas Series. Great to have Megan back with us out of Richmond Hill, Ontario. She finished 17th in the championship last year, running a partial season. Simon Sykes has taken over the top spot, though, as his 1:42.8 is definitely quicker by almost a tenth of a second. And he's trading fast laps with Philip Dennis in the 28, who has now taken over the top spot at a 42.76. 13 thousandths separate those two. Another 17 thousandths back to Benjamin Peterson in the 24 car. Benjamin currently competing in the British Racing Drivers Club Formula 3 Championship. Great to have him back with us. And as we mentioned, Dario Cangliosi winning the most recent round at COTA in the fifth spot. Riding along with Benjamin Peterson now as that orange livery, very recognizable as the Global Racing Group, his racing team. Global has a new driver here with us this weekend, Linus Lundqvist out of Sweden, the 2018 British BRDC Formula 3 champion, is joining Global Racing Group. That was just announced, and he's going to be with us for the entire season once we get racing, hopefully in June.
Ooh, a little bit sketchy right there. And big hit.
Yeah, looks
Pearson
like
and Lundqvist collided with each other.
Indeed, looks like Lundqvist got a little out of shape, and Benjamin went for the gap that wasn't there, and they came together. So a quick reset, and Benjamin's on his way back out of the pit lane. We're going to get a replay. Yeah, Lundqvist out of shape, and Benjamin unfortunately had nowhere to go as Linus Lundqvist finding maybe his first trip here to Virginia International Raceway, as he has raced overseas, of course, in his native Sweden and in Britain. But he mentioned in the run-up to his announcement for Global Racing Group that he's looking forward to getting to know the U.S. tracks, and he is learning VIR.
Yeah, VIR is one of these classic American tracks that all these drivers know and love from lower series. I was talking with Simon Sykes before the race, and he actually said he avoided COTA because he just didn't know how to race there, but he he's raced around VIR in real life, so he's been focusing on this round more than Circuit of the Americas. That's why he wasn't there last time by. So he's sitting third right now, and it's proven that he does know his way around here.
Indeed, setting the quickest time is Philippe Dennis, as he is now almost a half a second clear of the field, and that's a bunch. So Dennis, we figured was going to be pretty stout here in his inaugural appearance with us, and that's the case. So we have another driver with some cred, and that's Cem Bulabasi. He has raced in the Formula One iRacing series. He is currently second quick in the number 10 car. Cem,
He's
about go ahead.
He also raced in Renault 3.5 for a little bit as well.
Yep. Born in Turkey and makes his home in Germany currently. So looking for good things from Cem, as he is currently second quick. Dakota Dickerson now up into third spot. The points coming into this round, the guest drivers are not able to score points toward the season-ending championship. The winner will receive a full set of Hankook tires. Hankook, by the way, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, sponsoring our race here this evening. And great to have Hankook with us as our tire partner for the second season of racing. And Dario Cangliosi is the points leader with 43 and 18 and a 25 so far, taking the win lights to flag last weekend at COTA, and took a second place finish at Atlanta. So that puts him atop the order. Blake Upton, who we were chatting with just briefly in the ante room, the green room, before this session got started. Blake is second quick, as he was the top finishing series regular in the first round at Road Atlanta and came home third at COTA. Jacob Abel currently third quick. Dakota Dickerson, the reigning Formula regional champion. Benjamin Peterson definitely can't stay out of the way of spinning drivers, because he's been collected for the second time in this session as Benjamin gets nerfed off the track. Dakota Dickerson.
That was directly at the end of qualifying, so these guys are just stopping at the end of the road, and I think some of these drivers are just keeping it pedal to the metal, and, well, sometimes you just aim for the first thing that's just stopped on your right if you've had a bad lap. So these guys probably let off a bit of steam after a back qualifying lap.
Dennis and Bulabasi are both still out on track, so we'll see which of them can clinch the pole. But right now, Philippe Dennis is looking very stout with almost a half a second over the rest of the field. And then you can see how tightly packed the cars are behind him. So Dennis is definitely in a zone of his own right at the moment, but we'll see if Cem can do anything with him and perhaps get a little closer in this last lap of qualifying. Riding with Dennis right now. Now we're riding with Bulabasi as he is coming to the stripe. No improvement, as he does go about a tenth quicker, but he's still about a third of a second behind Philippe Dennis. So you can check the scoring tower on the left-hand side of your screen. It looks like Philippe Dennis, the provisional pole sitter. Cem Bulabasi. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Austin.
Well, as we try to take a look from the blimp view, you can just see how dense this fog is. If you want to try to pick out the car, it is thankfully Megan Geis is running a bright pink car to make the car pop from this massive fog. But visibility is going to be key here. So if there's a car stopped on track, you're not going to notice from far distance away. You will have to rely on your spotter.
So it looks like Philippe Dennis is definitely going to be your pole sitter. Cem Bulabasi in second spot. Dakota Dickerson third. Quinlan Law came home fourth. Simon Sykes in fifth. Ben Waddell in the sixth spot. Benjamin Peterson, after a couple of incidents, in seventh spot. Victor Anderson came home eighth. Dario Cangliosi, the most recent winner, was ninth. And Flynn Lazier rounding out the top 10. As seeing the starting grid on your screen right now. JP Southern and Blake Upton in row number 6. JP Southern, one of our series regulars. Zachary Rivard, one of our guest drivers. Zachary in the 14 car. Jacob Abel alongside him in row 7. Parker Locke and Andrew Pinkerton in row 8. Row 9 has Linus Lundqvist on debut here this weekend, along with guest driver Bruno Carniero, Danny Kasich, and Andrew Dobby in row 10. Row 11 has Megan Jilks and Mateus Solero Bell, Josh Bethune from New Zealand, and Johnny Wilkinson in row number 12. And finally, we've got Dominic Livernoy in the 26 car with Logan Cuson. Next to him in row 13, 14 has Hunter Yaney and Dominic Cicero. Michael Enger is a new entry for us in row 15, along with Hayden Bowlesby. Conrad Clark also joining us for the first time in the 33 car in row 16, along with Jose Cabrera, Kyle Connery, and Daniel Nyman in row 17. Row 18, Ella Spezia and Jordan Messig.
So the drivers are lined up and ready to go. You get to see them for miles, just going all the way down to the very start of the straight and the pit buildings. Completely maxed out grid. We had 40 drivers signed up, 36 showed up to the race, but as we look through the dense fog, we're waiting 15 seconds until the lights are about to come on here at VIR.
There'll be 5 red lights, just like a Formula One start. They'll go out at 1 second intervals, and then a random amount of time expires. And they all 5 extinguish, and that is the sign to get racing for this 30-minute timed race. And you can see the lights right in the center of the screen. You can hear the engines coming up on the rev limiters. All 5 lights are on, and we're away. And a good start for Philippe Dennis, but a good start from Dakota Dickerson in 3rd spot. He's side by side with Bolobasi as they head down into turn number 1. Lots of shuffling going on behind him. And Dickerson's going to slot up into 2nd spot.
Oh, Cesaro is off already, and he's crashed on the straight. We got a bit of contact happening in the middle of turn 1, but it's Dennis, Dickerson, Bolobasi, Sykes, and Peterson. Your top cars, and that is Anderson going off at NASCAR Bend.
Looks like Mateus Solero Bell also going off, as did Kyle Connery. So Philippe Dennis out in front, hoping for a clean start here, and we didn't get it, as lots of cars off track as they make their way through NASCAR and head toward the Snake and then up the climbing S's as we go back to the front here. As Bolobasi all the way back into 8th position as he got caught up in some of that carnage. We ride along with Dakota Dickerson, I believe, right at, no, excuse me, that's Sykes just behind Bolobasi, Dickerson up in front of him. And then Philippe Dennis, your leader, up at the front of the field. Again, a lot of those cars spinning just as they cross the stripe, which threw our timing and scoring off just a bit. As those...
Yeah, Sykes sitting in 5th right now. Bolobasi is dropped down to 3rd, but he's looking to make up that move up into 3rd right now, setting it up the inside. Now it's around the outside. This is so tricky here in Roller Coaster. Unable to get the move, but here comes Sykes. He's looking to set it down the inside, but there's nowhere to go, and he gets into him, and he's turning Jeb around.
Bolobasi gets spun. He's right back on track as Dakota Dickerson now going for the lead of this motor race as he's going to try to chase down Philippe Dennis. Understand in some of our pre-race chatter that Dickerson was one of the quickest one, but yeah, that was a tough hit there.
Megan Geix caught up in there. That is... Oh.
Yeah, Megan Jilks got punted off there in the 49 car. As we go back to the front with Philippe Dennis beginning to stretch away, and based on his qualifying time, that is no surprise. As there's Dakota Dickerson in that red car. Oh, we've got a car up and over the barrier.
Ben Waddell meeting the fans as he jumps over the barrier and out of a bizarre flipping incident coming out of NASCAR.
Yeah, it looks like Pinkerton was involved. Andrew Pinkerton in the 77 got involved in that as well. Yeah, we can see as Pinkerton rolls over the tire barrier and up into the fan zone. Meanwhile, back to the front at Oak Tree, with the Oak Tree present, by the way. That's a great addition. One of the great things about having these iRacing simulations, we can turn back the clock and put the Oak Tree back where it is no longer there, and that's a great thing. Riding along with Quinlan Law, as he is currently in 7th position, giving chase to Flynn Lazier just up in front. Jacob Abel in the 5th spot. Sykes up into the 4th spot just ahead of him. As Simon holding on to a spot just outside the podium positions. But Dennis running away and hiding as Dickerson has about a 2-second lead over Cangliosi in third spot, and then another second, just under a second, back to Simon Sykes. But it looks like Quinlan Law getting a run.
Chimps off again. It looks like he was involved with Liveronis.
Yeah, Livernois and Bulabasi got together, but they have come back on track.
Just both going wide right there.
Yeah, it looks like Jim may be off into the pit lane for some repairs. As we ride again with Quinlan Law in that green and white number 22 machine, currently in sixth spot. And he's got his hands full with Flynn Lazier just behind him. Law moved up around Lazier in the run down the roller coaster on the last lap as they're working their way through the snake right now under the bridge and up into the daunting climbing S's. Austin, I know you've driven this track, and that the climbing S's, everybody says is their favorite part of this racetrack.
It certainly is. I always have a smile on my face when I'm going up those S's, either if it's in a car without downforce or with downforce, especially in these F3 cars we got here on iRacing. And these F3s, flat out, big smile on the face. In the USF 2000s that I ran, not flat out.
Logan Cuson, we're riding along following Logan right now in the 99 car, currently 10th position. He'll be in the last points paying position. Well, not actually, if we discount the guest drivers. The top 10 drivers from our series regulars will be scoring points toward the season-ending championship. As we mentioned, a full set of Hankook tires to the winner, a 90-day pit fit training regime for the second place finisher. And then an Olumagato watch for our third place finisher at the end of the season. He's got it was a scoring anomaly. It looked like Dario Cangliosi was falling down the order here just a moment ago on timing and scoring, but that's righted itself, and he's back in third where he belongs. And right on cue, Marco gives us a look at Dario's number 23 car, as he's about a second, a little less, ahead of Simon Sykes. Jacob Abel in the 5 car just behind him. That's Jacob in the orange livery. Quinlan Law, we've been talking about, in that number 22, the green and white livery. Benjamin Peterson looks to be making a move on Blake Upton. I don't know if he was able to get that pass completed.
Let's look at Sykes on Cangliosi as they're going through that drop down sharp left turn. Sykes is looking for the move, and now Sykes is under pressure from Abel.
Indeed. I got confused as Sykes has a similar coloration on his car to Benjamin Peterson, who normally runs in that bright orange livery.
Oh, that's Linus.
Yeah, Linus right behind him. Is Linus working his way back up the order? He's currently in 25th position. He is a lap down, so he is being passed by the leaders, going to try to unlap himself.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, and the old tree brand just couldn't get it stopped too much. Went sailing off into the wall. He's in the pits. Phil Dennis leads out. New fastest lap of the race. 1:42.71. 3 seconds clear of Dakota Dickerson. What a crazy start we've had.
Yeah, it's kind of settled in. Dennis, as we mentioned, running away and hiding as we sort of expected. Dakota Dickerson up 1 spot from where he qualified. Dario Cangliosi up 6 spots from where he qualified in the 3rd position. Simon Sykes up a spot into 4th. Jacob Abel up 8 in 5th position. Quinlan Law drifting back 2 spots from where he started. Flynn Lazier up 3. Blake Upton up 3. Benjamin Peterson down 2, and Logan Cuson up 15. So far, Logan in the lead of the battle for the Seabelt Hard Charger Award. In fact, as I look a little deeper in the facts, Ella Spezia also looking strong in the bid for the Hard Charger. He's up 17 spots from where he qualified. Hunter Yaney up 16. So a number of drivers making some moves from back in the pack as we ride once again with our 6th place runner, Quinlan Law, who's trying to recover a couple of those spots that he lost in the early stages of this race. We're about 8 minutes into the 30-minute event.
Blake Upton getting a nice overtake on Flynn Lazier going into the roller coaster. And Lazier didn't put up a big fight going into that break zone because it's so tricky to get it right, especially if you're side by side.
Great three-way battle between Sykes, Abel, Lal, and Upton. As we ride with Lal right now, that's Abel right in front of him. He's getting a good run down into the first turn.
The gap was there for him, but he just didn't have the speed to get it into there. Played it safe on the brakes.
As they head into NASCAR, Jacob Abel and Simon Sykes up in front of him. Cangliosi a little further up front, about a second further up in the final podium spot in third. Great ride through the S's with Quinlan Lal, driver out of New Jersey. By the way, speaking of New York and New Jersey, our thoughts go out to all of our listeners, and especially those in the the greater New York area. It's been a tough week, and it's going to get tougher, according to the governor. And our thoughts are with everyone as we work our way through this. Oh, and it looks like Abel has beached it up at Oak Tree, and so he is going to drop down the order. And that's going to promote Quinlan Lal as we get a replay. Just a little too much speed. It understeered off, and he made contact with the tire barrier and knocked off the left front corner. So Jacob Abel's going to have to recover from deep in the pack.
Top
Meanwhile,
five now. Dennis, Dickerson, Cangelosi, Skies, and Lal. Your top five here at VIR for the FR Americas iRacing Invitational presented by Hankook Competition.
Philippe Dennis continues to run all by himself at the front, some 5 seconds out in front of the field after only 10 minutes of racing. So Dennis is in cruise control mode right now. Dakota Dickerson, one of our series regulars and the defending champion of the FR America Series, is about 5 seconds back, and he's got about a second in hand over last weekend's winner, Dario Cangliosi. Simon Sykes, another second back in that fourth spot. Fifth to Quinlan Lal. Blake Upton in sixth. Flynn Lazier up 3 spots in seventh. Benjamin Peterson clinging to a position in the top 10, down a spot from where he qualified. Logan Cuson, as we mentioned, up 16 from his qualifying spot, with JP Southern rounding out the top 10. Hunter Yaney has also picked up 16 spots. Hayden Bowlesby 14, but Ella Spezia is the man who is in the lead for the Seibelt Hard Charger t-shirt, as he is currently up 18 from where he qualified, running in 18th, and only about a second and 3/4 behind Megan Jilks, who's up 5 from her qualifying spot, running in 17th spot right now. As we ride with Hunter Yaney in a great battle with Victor Anderson. Victor, the Swedish driver, who made his debut with us, and there he is side by side trying to put Hunter down into 13th spot. Looks like he's got it done as Anderson takes the lead.
Draft, though. He's looking down the inside. He's not giving out. They're going to go side by side, heading to this braking zone, heading to roll. Because, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, because this is going to get nuts between these two. And Anderson makes it stick.
But Yaney's right on his gearbox as they head down through Hogpen, the final turn on the racetrack, as a lapped car going off just in front of them.
Dickerson's off.
Dakota Dickerson. Dakota Dickerson had some trouble. He is going to get back on in 7th, as we're going to get the view as it looks like a spinner in front of him, and Dakota had to take evasive action.
No, this is down at roller coaster. This is JP Southern. Dickerson was off at turn 1 and 2, as Southern was the lapped car that we saw. This is Dakota Dickerson's spin right here. Oh, he got tapped.
He got a nudge. Indeed he did, yes. He got a nudge from Cangliosi, I think. As we ride on with Dario, yep, he got a little love tap, and that's what put him off. So Simon Sykes Riding with Cagliostro right now as he's trying to overhaul Sykes, side by side with him as they head down this long back straightaway, still side by side. Sykes has the preferred inside line, but if Cagliostro can get a little later on the brakes, nope, he's going to let discretion be the better part of valor and fall back in single file. Sykes hanging on to that second spot. Cagliostro just behind him. Through Hogpen and onto the front straightaway they come.
Dario's going to get a good draft, though, on Cagliostro in this spot for a second. But see Cagliostro defending onto that trying to attack on that inside line. Sykes leaving the door open. Is Dario going to send it? Even though after last time, no, he's not. But he's getting closer and closer with every turn.
Right on the gearbox of Simon Sykes is Cagliostro through NASCAR, the sweeping left-hander. Now this little chicane making their way onto the section they call the Snake. And it looks like Sykes getting a good run through that section of the racetrack. He's able to open up just a little bit more of a gap as the official interval between the two of them, 0.3 of a second. Cagliostro getting a good run. Yeah, he's getting a good run up the climbing S's as they head toward Oak Tree.
And speaking of gap, the gap to second and third, and Sykes is around!
Carried a little too much speed, feeling the pressure from Cagliostro, and he just looped it.
Lazier's around as well.
Lazier went around as well. It must be a little slick up in that part of the racetrack as these drivers trying to get the power down and these cars going around on them.
Well, it's 100% humidity. The water just gets in everything. Gets in the brakes, gets on the road, gets on your hair, gets on your face, gets just everywhere, especially on my clothes right now.
Just dropped a wheel off to the outside, and as he tried to put the power down, away it went. Sykes now side by side with Blake Upton. Sykes with the position right now. Upton looking for a way around. As we ride with Upton now. That's a great shot, right on the nose. Upton and Sykes side by side down this long straightaway, heading toward the roller coaster. The lapped car getting out of their way.
Sykes sending it, but a little bit too much as Upton's looking out the inside for the switchback. They're going to be still side by side. Sykes is getting a bit of a lead heading into NASCAR.
Blake Upton giving chase. That's a battle for fourth position. As Quinlan Law continues to impress up into third spot now, as he's kept his nose clean. Dario Cagliostro up 7 from where he qualified in the second spot. Philippe Dennis, could he be our second lights to flag winner in this short season?
He's currently looking like it with a 11-second gap.
Yep.
And I believe that gap is still rising to Dario.
Riding with him now as he just puts another car a lap down. As Dennis falls down the roller coaster. And the lapped car of Ellis Spezia, I believe, just behind him. The first car a lap down. No, I'm sorry. That's Josh Bethune, I think, in the 69. The first car a lap down. Yep, that is Bethune that we're riding with. And there is your leader, Philippe Dennis, who's been all-conquering in the Road to Indy iRacing series and making his first start with us here and showing that his, as we got a spinner there, that's Bowlesby, I think, in the 30 car.
Yeah, Bowlesby and Livernois.
Bowlesby out of Folsom, Louisiana, one of our series regulars. As Oak Tree has been a tricky part of the racetrack for these drivers, getting a replay. Bowlesby just loops it there. And Livernois riding along, just not able to miss him. And those two both spinning off at Oak Tree. Benjamin Peterson in that orange number 28 car being chased by Victor Anderson. Anderson sends it as they go to the outside at turn 1.
Not able to make it happen. We got a car off. It's just a sketchy rejoin. That's Bruno Canero.
Yeah, we're getting a replay of Carniero's issue as he
Oh,
just
is this a
kept the
lockup?
braking a little bit too late, just locked him up and understeered off and came back on right in front of this battle as Benjamin Peterson holding off Victor Anderson as they make their way through the snake. Peterson currently in 9th position. Anderson looking for a way around as they make their way through the climbing S's. Anderson, a Swedish driver, starting his season with us for the first time last weekend. Looking forward to a full season of racing once we get the real racing underway, as they crest the apex there at Oak Tree and then begin the long back straightaway as we ride with the Swede, Victor Anderson.
Anderson's got a good run. Swings it up onto the inside. He's carried a lot of speed, 145 miles an hour down the straight, and he's cleared of Peterson.
And Carniero right there licking his chops as well after rejoining just behind these guys after his unforced error at turn 1 as we ride with Bruno right now. He's going to try to find his way around Benjamin Peterson as well. This battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. On to the front straightaway. The pit's off to your right. There's the start-finish gantry. And Carniero wants to... I wonder if Peterson's got an issue because he is definitely down on power on the straightaways.
I think he has, he has front wing damage. Just look at that wing is just bent, scrunched up like a taco.
Yep, exactly right. And I think that's cost him some exit speed onto these straightaways. And it's really costing him some issues as he's got a little more drag than he would like to have.
As
Josh Bethune, Booty Bethune off one more time in the 69 car. Josh running back in 22nd position.
Oh, that corners are so tricky to get right. Luckily, there was no cars coming when he was directly spun right there because he was across the track, sideways, nowhere to go for anyone else. Andrew Dobby's in a fight with Megan. Megan
Jilks, these two are the last cars on the lead lap. Right now, Dobby with the advantage. Megan Jilks in that pink livery that we talked about earlier. Looking for a way around. Megan, strong through NASCAR. Let's see if she can do anything. On the run into the snake. Heading back to Carniero with his battle just in front of Victor Anderson. Anderson right behind him in that hot pink or that lime green and white livery as we're getting a replay of Carniero's pass to take over that position. Moving up into 9th spot. Anderson giving chase now as we go back to live action as they head to turn number 1. This is where Carniero locked it up a couple laps ago, but this time gets the braking zone just right and able to keep Victor Anderson behind him.
All these cars today running the same high downforce fixed setup, so nobody has a setup advantage, which makes the lead that Phil Dennis has even more impressive.
13 seconds last time by, and he just set fast lap of the race at a 42.49. And with a 13-second lead with about 8 minutes remaining, he is definitely in cruise control mode right now, but obviously not backing off as he continues to set fast race laps.
I think Phil Dennis still only knows one mode, and that's push.
There you go. No question. Staying with this great battle for 9th and 10th between Carniero in the black and red machine and Anderson in the white and lime green. Benjamin Peterson, who's got some front wing damage, running in 11th spot, a little further back behind those two. Benjamin about 2.5 seconds behind this battle as they come to the roller coaster. Anderson are able to close right up on the gearbox as they slow down for
Anderson's
that.
got wing damage. Look at the front left of his wing, it's damaged.
Yeah. That's
and Bruno's off! Bruno!
Carniero throws it off at Hogpen. Lots of runoff there, but he's doing some agricultural racing. He's going to lose at least 2 spots, now 3, maybe 4 by the time he gets back up to speed as Hunter Yaney and
Peterson
Peterson were able to get around him.
And that's Linus Lundqvist off in the S's.
Lundqvist having not the debut that he would have liked after a great qualifying performance, finds himself back off the lead lap, down 5 spots from where he qualified. And just having a little trouble making his way into the snake. As we ride with Carniero, as he's trying to recover from that most recent spin, as he's had a couple of offs here in the late going. Just about 6 minutes remaining as we're coming up on 24 minutes expired. Riding again with Anderson. He is way behind Flynn Lazier, so he's going to have to keep his mirrors active as he's got Benjamin Peterson.
Oh, Dakota looked for the outside, try to hold it around there with Upton, but he's just going to sit in that draft right now. His car is looking clean. I was noticing a lot of wing damage from some of these drivers, so they might be attacking a curb just a little bit too aggressively and hitting a curb, which is giving them wing damage.
And attacking their fellow competitors as well, as we've seen more than a few nerfs, as Dakota getting a good run on his teammate, Blake Upton, as they dive down to the inside.
Where he's going to go.
Throw it. Can't quite make it stick. Upton forced to the outside, giving him racing room. As they head into NASCAR, Upton will have the advantage. Let's see if Dickerson is going to try the over-under here as they make their way down to the left-hander. He's
side by side.
Upton hangs in, though. They're still side by side. Coming to the snake, Dickerson makes the pass.
What a move by Dickerson to make that work for the top 5.
And that's Logan Cuson, not far. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a lapped car. I thought that was Cuson coming up behind them, but he's about 9 seconds up the track. Upton, though, not giving up the ghost. He's going to try to take that position back as they approach the top of the hill toward Oak Tree. Upton right on the gearbox of Dakota Dickerson as they make their way around the Oak Tree and head down the straightaway. Let's see if Upton is able to tuck into the draft and pick up that extra couple miles per hour that he needs to jump into one of the best passing zones on the track.
Here it comes.
And that's at the braking zone for the roller coaster. He flips out at the last possible moment. Side by side, Dickerson has the preferred line.
And he holds it in there on Upton's exit line, just telling him, you stay back there. I know what I'm doing. And now Upton's going to try to pressure on Dakota Dickerson. Dickerson went over a curb, and that's killed off his speed. And here comes Upton. Upton looking down to the inside. There's nowhere to go. He's going to swing around to the outside. Side by side, these guys go. Drag racing here in Virginia as they're heading into turn 1. Side by side, who's going to be the last breakers? Dakota Dickerson sending it up there as Upton's just trying to hold it around the outside.
That's the lapped car, Ben Waddell. He is the second car a lap down in 20th position after issues at the start of the race. And he is quicker than either of these drivers, just looking for a way around. It's going to be a little late to unlap himself with only 3.5 minutes remaining. But Dakota Dickerson and Blake Upton having a great battle here, 4th, 5th, and 6th in the closing stages.
Yeah, Dickerson pulled out a lot of gap through NASCAR as I believe Upton was dealing with Waddell.
Yeah, Upton driving in his mirrors maybe just a little bit now as the very fast Ben Waddell, who won the first race of the season at Road Atlanta, but didn't get off to the best start in this one.
Yeah, ended up in the fan section actually after a massive violent flip sent him out of the course.
Here with Logan Cuson and Flynn Lazier as they go side by side. Getting a replay of that move as Lazier able to move in front of Cuson. But Cuson not giving it up. He's going to try to get right back at him. Now we return to this battle between Upton and Dickerson with Waddell, the lapped car, right behind him. That's not for position for Waddell at least, but just in recovery mode from that off-track excursion. Let's see if Dickerson can keep it clean here as they make their way around the final turn and onto the front straightaway. About 2 minutes remaining in this race.
Waddell has a great seat for this show, honestly.
No kidding. Upton to the outside. Side by side into the braking zone. Does Dickerson go too late? A little puff of brake smoke there as he kept the brakes just as late as he possibly can. Upton with pressure from Waddell But I think Ben's a good gentleman. He'll let these guys race it out with only a couple minutes remaining and try not to get in the way of that battle for position.
I believe Liddell is just having fun with him.
Cangelosi and Lal are definitely within shouting distance of one another. Less than a second separates those two in the battle for second. 3/4 of a second, the difference.
Yeah, Lal's been pretty quick and consistent around here. As Cangelosi, he's going to be getting a good draft from that lap car ahead. But Lal's back there, and he might get held up for a little bit.
Yeah, Cangelosi picking up that draft, just as you said, and he is going to be able to make that happen, getting around the lapped car. So Cangelosi with a little breathing room now as he heads into the roller coaster, as we are most likely approaching the white flag lap here. Last lap, in fact, that is the case. As our leader, Philippe Dennis, so far out in front. There he is, working his way through the first turn as this battle for second just now coming onto the front straightaway. A 16-second margin for Philippe Dennis. There goes Lal by the lapper, but he has lost valuable time on this final lap. He's got 0.8 of a second to make up to try to catch Dario Cangelosi.
These guys in the top three have kept it pretty much clean as they can. We know Dario had that little incident with Dakota Dickerson after he gave him a little bit of a bump and run, the Dale Earnhardt treatment. But Phil Dennis, clean as a whistle, and it's showing. 17-second gap.
Up into Oak Tree for the final time for our leader. As he comes onto the back straightaway, you can hear that car struggling for traction as he tries to get the grip down. Working his way down this long straightaway. Uphill to the roller coaster. Just a couple of turns left for Phil Dennis as he is looking to notch his first win in Formula Regional iRacing Invitational Championship competition. His only problem in this race has been not tripping over any back markers, and he has kept it clean and green through Hogpen for the final time. Comes Phil Dennis, and he is going to make it a clean sweep here. Lights to flag for Phil Dennis as he takes the checkers. Cangelosi and Lal still separated by about a second and some change, so I doubt if there'll be a change there. There's Cangelosi just now coming through Hogpen and onto the front straightaway. As these two New Jersey drivers come across the stripe.
Peterson and Yeedy are entangled with each other in the S's.
That's for 11th and 12th.
No, that was actually for 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
Both these guys, they were entangled with each other. I really want to know what happened there.
Exactly right. Getting a replay now.
Oh! Wheel came loose, and then I think a little bit of red mist. Yep, there's the red mist with Peterson. Just drives it straight into him, and oh my goodness, that is unfortunate. Right in front of the resort. And I think Peterson is going to try to finish this car with a few missing wheels.
That's Logan Cuson, who has dispensed with Victor Anderson as he's coming to the line right now. Last couple of cars making their way to the stripe as Peterson and Yaney both out on this final lap, but they had a one-lap lead over Megan Jilk, so it looks like they'll hang on to a top 15 spot. As across the line, there's JP Southern as he'll finish in 13th position in that black number 61.
As we take a look from the blimp, that gives us absolutely no idea what's actually on the screen unless it's just white. Just once again proving you can't see a lot of stuff out here in this massive fog. A definite unique factor in today's race as we are waiting on the results to pop up. But wow, this race, the start of it, craziness.
The bottom half of the field, Megan Jilks finishing a lap down in 16th. Now we'll roll back to the top. Philip Dennis your winner out of California by 18 seconds. That's our biggest margin of victory so far this season. Dario Cangalosi comes home second. Quinlan Law in third. Simon Sykes making his first start with us in fourth. Dakota Dickerson in fifth spot. Blake Upton in sixth. Flynn Lazier in seventh. Logan Cuson in eighth. Victor Anderson comes home ninth. Bruno Carniero rounds out the top 10. Andrew Pinkerton in the 11th spot. Dominic Livernoy in 12th. JP Southern comes home in 13th position. Benjamin Peterson, after an eventful race, comes home in 14th. Hunter Yaney in 15th. Megan Jilks comes home in 16th. Andrew Dobby, 17th. And Zachary Rivard rounding out the top 18. Working our way through the balance of the field. Linus Lundquist making his first start with us after announcing his ride with Global Motorsports Group in 19th. Ben Waddell, after that scary looking crash in the early stages, recovered for a 20th place finish. Josh Bethune, multiple spins throughout the course of the race in the 21st spot. Michael Egner in 22nd. Jordan Messig in 23rd. Ella Spezia in 24th. Jose Cabrera in 25th. Hayden Bowlesby, Dominic Cicero, and Kyle Connery round out the top 28. Conrad Clark finishes in 29th. Jacob Abel, after qualifying well, ends up in 30th. Parker Locke in 31st. A couple Texas Parker out of Texas, Jacob Abel out of Louisville. Johnny Wilkinson, the Brit, in 32nd position. Jim Bulubasi, who did not have the race that he had hoped for after a great qualifying run, qualified in the first row, but ends up in 33rd. Daniel Kosick in 34th. Mateus Soler Obel, the Colombian, in 35th. And Daniel Nyman rounds out the 36-car field. Looking at our hard charger award, it looks like Logan Cuson is going to be the man. Let me just scan down my timing screen here. Yep, 17 positions for Logan Cuson. So he'll pick up the T-shirt from Sawbelt and will be in contention for the season-ending Sawbelt Championship for the most overtakes over the course of the season. We're hopefully going to get a chance to talk to our top three drivers as we're waiting for them to make their way into the interview room. And we'll have a chance to interview Phil Dennis, Dario Cangalosi, and Quinlan Law, your top three in round number 3. While we're waiting for that, just a reminder that Hankook Tires presents this race for us, and we're so happy to have Hankook as our official tire sponsor for the championship. They will be. Go ahead.
We have our race winner with us right now, Mr. Philip Dennis.
Mr. Dennis, you made your first start with us. We knew that you were formidable with your record from the Road to Indy iRacing series, but my friend, you spanked them pretty good here this weekend.
Yeah, thanks. I actually registered to do the series early, but I don't know. I guess something happened, wasn't allowed. But that's all right. We're here now. Yeah, it was a good race. I just focused on being consistent and laying the laps down. I mean, it was no interruptions. I kind of just kept laying them down, going quicker and quicker throughout the race.
Philippe, an uneventful run for you. You set fast lap of the race at a 42.3, which I think is quicker than the qualifier, quicker than the pole time.
Yep.
But nonetheless, about the only thing you had to contend with was traffic throughout the course of the race.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Everyone was being clean, so no interruptions there. So yeah, it was a clean race. I felt good. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on taking the win. And are you going to be with us for the balance of the season?
Yeah, we'll see. Most likely, I don't have anything else to do. So
that's the case for all of us, my friend.
yeah.
We're at Barber a week from tonight, so that's a track I'm sure you know well. So
Yep.
great run here tonight, and looking forward to having you with us throughout the rest of the season if you can.
Thank you. Looking forward to coming back.
Okay, thanks. Philippe Dennis, your winner by a commanding almost 19 seconds over last week's winner, Dario Cangalosi, who should be next into the
Front
interview
wing
room.
damage in the end.
Dario, are you with us?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah.
Hey, great race. I understand you had a little wing damage to contend with.
Oh yeah. hmm
This was not an uneventful race, as there was lots of pushing and shoving, for want of a better word. And
Yeah, no, of
you aren't
course.
the only one who had front wing damage in the course of this event.
Yeah. It's just a little weird being on iRacing. I mean, I was like right there on Dakota. I didn't necessarily know that I was close to being in contact with him, but kind of hit a bump on the exit, and I think my front of the car got in the back of him. My apologies, but fun race otherwise. Didn't have that great of a qualifying, so it was fun trying to come through the field on the first couple laps. Just keeping it safe seemed to be the best option.
There at the end, it looked like your fellow New Jersey native Quinlan Law might have something to say about that second spot as he was closing up there at the end, but you were able to maintain your gap and hang on to that second spot.
Yeah, the last five, like 6 laps for sure were pretty exciting because we were coming up on a lot of lap traffic, and also I had to do a bit of crash avoidance at one point. So Quinlan got up right behind me after I had to go off track to avoid somebody. So he was pretty much just sitting there in the draft. And fortunately, kind of as the cards played out with other lap cars later on in the race, it worked well in my favor.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish. I'm pretty sure that's going to extend your points lead toward the season-ending championship. So that set of Hankook tires is looking to be leaning your way. Of course, it's very early. There's lots of racing left to go, but you're certainly looking strong in the point standings with a pair of seconds here and in the win last weekend. So congratulations on your third consecutive podium.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for putting on the race again. That was a
All right,
blast. All
great to
right.
have you with us.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks,
guys.
Dario.
All right, bye.
Our third place finisher, Quinlan
Learning
Law,
this.
making his way to the microphone.
Hello, how are you?
Quinlan, how are you, my friend? Good to see you on the podium. You had a dandy battle with Dario there at the end. We thought you were going to run him down.
Yeah, I had some really clean space in between myself and Dario, and were able to chip away at him about like 0.3 of a second per lap. But sadly, there at the end, we caught some lap traffic, and I caught a lap traffic in a really bad spot, and it just kind of held up my run. But at the end of the day, yeah, I was really pleased with my pace and my consistency, which is something I definitely needed to work on from Coda to now.
I know both you and Dario from New Jersey. You guys have raced together quite a lot in real life, I'm sure.
Surprisingly not. I
Really?
haven't. Yeah. Honestly, this is the first time I think I've raced against Dario ever, even though we
No
are from New Jersey.
kidding.
Yeah. It was actually a really pleasure to race against him, and he's super quick, and as a competitor, he's really, really good.
Well, you're not too shabby yourself, young man. So great job
Thank you very much.
to come home in third spot. That's going to move you up in the point standings, just another notch or two. So congratulations on a podium spot.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I also have to say a big thank you to my spotter, Darius. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to pick my way through a lot of the incidents in front of me, and also become as quick in this game as fast in a short amount of period of time.
All right. Well, good job, Quinlan, and we'll look for you next weekend, hopefully, at Barber Motorsports Park.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much.
Okay, Quinlan, thank you.
Bye.
With that, that is going to wrap up our coverage here.
Actually, Simon wanted to be. Actually, we had Simon in the booth as well.
Let's go with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hi there.
Hey, Simon, how are you, my friend? Welcome to
well.
Formula Regional iRacing Invitational Championship.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You obviously have some bona fides of your own, being the 2018 Formula 2000 vice champion. But you had an eventful race as well. You and Dakota had a great battle most of the race. In fact, we followed the two of you, I think, for more of the race than any other pair, as you guys were swapping that spot back and forth. Dakota's pretty formidable, I know, but you did a great job this weekend.
He certainly is. He's an excellent driver. I just got caught up with a few small mistakes that I made in the race, and so I was just having to overcome that and drive my way back to the front. I ended up not enough to make the podium, but just short of it.
Are you going to be able to be with us for the next weekend's race at Barber Motorsports Park?
Oh, I'd be glad to. I'm looking forward to it. It's
all right.
I'm glad all this iRacing's going on. It's been a great pastime while we're all stuck inside.
Yeah, exactly. We're all stuck at home. It's great to have the opportunity to get a little racing in, even though we're not behind the wheel per se. So.
Trying to make the most of it. Honestly, I've done more racing online in the past few weeks than I have in a long time.
Well, that's great. That's great. That's what it's all about. Well, Simon, thanks for stopping in to chat with us afterwards, and we appreciate your time, and best of luck moving forward.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Okay. So I don't know if we have anybody else in the interview room. Austin, do you have anybody else coming up?
Nope. That is all of our podium finishers plus Simon. That was a crazy race from start to finish. It's kind of aired out a little bit in the finish because we went from Coda where you could battle everywhere on track to VIR where it's very narrow. You had to pick certain spots to send it, and a few of these drivers unfortunately had a little bit incidents with each other. But I can't wait for Barber.
Oh yeah, no kidding. It's another narrow track, a real technical track, and very high speed. A good combination of high speed and low speed corners. So it's a very flowing layout. Looking forward to these drivers strutting their stuff next weekend. That's the 14th of April at Barber Motorsports Park. Just looking ahead to the balance of the season. After Barber, we go to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, the track formerly known as Mosport. Then we go to Sebring on April 28th. And then the season finale is something that you listeners get a chance, our viewers get a chance to determine, as that is going to be our fan choice for our finale for the iRacing Invitational Championship. So go to Instagram, framericas.com or FR Americas on Instagram at FR Americas, and cast your vote for the track you'd like to see these drivers challenging for the final race of the season. Also, head over to Instagram as Amy Greenway, our communications director, is having a live chat with any of the other drivers that we didn't get a chance to interview on the podium, and that's going on right now. So after you leave us, head over to the FR Americas channel on Instagram and check out the live chat with the rest of the drivers in the field, those who choose to join us. So, Austin, any final words before we sign it off?
Hopefully Barber is less foggy.
Excellent. Hey, my thanks to Marco Barbanera doing a fantastic job on the camera work, and to my co-commentator, Austin Knight. It's always great to share the booth with him. I've been John Phippen. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you in 1 week's time at 7:10 for Barber Motorsports Park, round number 4 of the FR America's iRacing Invitational Championship. Have a good night. Be safe and be well, everyone.